Hi everybody, this is Lisa and welcome again to another hour of English Verbling classes. Excuse me, Verbling.com is the website, and here is where we offer classes in English, Spanish, French, Russian, and Italian. In English we have several classes all day long and through the night. Sometimes we have two classes at once, sometimes it's just one. And if you become a member of Verbling, then you get to join classes anytime you would like. If you are a Verbling.com member, you can reserve your class ahead of time if you know you want to make sure that you get into the Google Hangouts, because sometimes they do fill up. And otherwise, if you don't have a reservation but you want to join, you just come and see if the class is not full, and if there's room, then you can click on the Join Class button and then join the class. The good thing about joining the class is that you can participate. So, for example, in this hour, we're going to be having a conversation. So this is a good chance for you to practice speaking with others in a real-life conversation. I'm not giving you anything to read or practice or role play or anything. It's just going to be us having a conversation and speaking in English about the things that happened to us, or what we liked or didn't like about being a teenager. So the topic is being a teen, and Imad and Raphael, you were with me in the last hour when we were reading the article about the impulse control of teenagers, especially male teenagers. So let's get started with our conversation, and if anybody wants to join us at any time, they can just pop in and we will welcome you to the class and you can begin to join us. Also, if you're watching and you're not sure if you can join for the whole class and you want to participate a little bit, you can type in the Verbling chat and we see it and we can respond to you if you have any questions or anything. So Yuki, are you there? Maybe it's loading. Okay, Imad.
Hello, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Yuki, hi. All right, so you guys are all there. Good. Well, okay, I'm going to start with Imad. So, Imad, tell me, we can start with kind of going off of the article since we all read that article. Did you have any opinions about it, or did it make you think of your own teenage years, or maybe people you know, brothers, sisters, relatives, anything like that?
Yeah, I'd say when kids go through dramatic things during their early lives, it will affect their own behaviors during the teenage or adolescence period.
Okay.
And I'm 100% sure about this point because I've seen a lot of cases. You know, I'm originally from Syria.
Yes.
I fled the country about 1 year ago. Many children, including my relatives, young kids, have seen a lot of things, a lot of sins that were horrible and awful, and that caused them in some cases to be horrified or affected in a way. So the teenage nowadays, I'm dealing with the fact that some of the teenagers nowadays who have originally came from the same situation. They left everything. Although they don't understand everything, they don't feel that kind of lost.
Yeah.
But they have seen things that are not usual, things like that went in front of their eyes very fast.
Yeah.
And they right now see they are very active sometimes, but they're not violent.
Okay.
They are not violent, but at the same time you see their own reactions for threats. They will become like this threshold for being nervous is like very low.
Yeah.
And they will tend in some poor cases, like you'd see people from poor families start to be isolated.
Yeah.
That feeling is growing because they used to be in the middle class. So the change of this situation and circumstances would affect their own feeling, and I can feel that, I can probe it because I'm living in this medium. So I know that this kind of kids have changed because I've known them in the last few years. I've seen what happened, and I noticed the difference. So it's correct. It's really correct.
Yeah.
Whenever the child have seen something during his own early life that's horrible or not meant to be very good or violent, he would grow up during the adolescence. He will suffer and struggle with the ideas and the image that will invade his own imagination. And being through the teenage life, it's not good. It's very hard. Even for me, I remember when I was a teenager, I did a lot of things that were not fully thoughtful or coming from my own experience just because I want to do something. It's like impulsive. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's a really good point that you're making, Maud, and it makes me wonder that in that article that we just read, in that study that they were talking about,
Yes.
I wonder if they took that into consideration, like, because they didn't tell us very much in the article about the study, but I would be curious now to find out, like, the people that they used in the study, and specifically the male teenagers that they saw had less impulse control. I wonder if they, looked into their childhood, their early childhood, and if there were any, like you say, like a traumatic events or something that would happen that may account for that, lack of impulse control that they're showing compared to the other teenagers, because it is true that there must be something different going on because not everybody is responding the same way. Not all teens, especially not all male teens even, are responding the same way. It's more like in general or something. Yeah.
But they conduct. Did they conduct enough? Did they conduct the test? Adapting enough amount of participants.
Yeah, it's hard for us to know. Sometimes when you're
it's very exciting study, but I think I don't know. It is.
We don't know enough.
We don't know. It is exactly so. It is very important to
totally.
discover such a result of experiment. Of course, attract to the not only to the study of teenagers behavior, but also the society measures to prevent crimes and to policy, also government policy.
Sure. Yeah,
yes,
and
very
to have
important. Yes.
Yeah, well, to have a healthier society too, so you feel safe, everybody feels safe, and the teens aren't getting themselves into trouble. And yeah, I would say, Donato, you just came in. Hi. Okay, hold on. Let me just welcome some people. Donato, and hi, Fulvia. How are you? Welcome to class. Hi. So everybody else except for you was in the last class, so that's why we're kind of continuing. But I want to make sure that you know what we're talking about. And we're reading an article about a study where they were looking at teenagers' ability to control themselves, to not do something, a simple task. They were not supposed to touch a button when they saw a threatening face, and a lot of times they did, 15% more often than like smaller children and older adults. So we're kind of talking about that as starting out our conversation about being a teenager.
Sorry, can I continue?
Yeah, go ahead, Yuki.
Moreover, do you remember that do you remember the incident when a teenager, he's game mania of killing game, get in the kindergarten and
no, I didn't hear that.
kill children, kill more than 10 children.
Where?
With his gun.
Where was this?
It had happened in U.S. in the U.S. in the beginning of this year.
Okay.
Don't you remember?
Last year.
It is quite. It's such a very sad incident had happened in the suburb of.
Yes. Connecticut or something like that. I can't remember.
I don't remember the name of
yeah, I don't remember.
It is a very quiet area.
Yes.
People they rarely happened such a rarely happened such incident.
Yeah.
Crime.
Yeah. So are you saying?
But it is said that he abducted to the killing game, and it caused such a act, his act, as a murder, and game, such a killing game affected on his psychological affected on him, and it caused his it's a great reason of his
I didn't read that, but I would be very surprised if it could be attributed only to that. A lot of times, if you're just reading something in the newspaper, Yuki, you're not necessarily going to get the whole picture. And for somebody to create or commit such a horrible crime, I think it's going to go beyond just the video games, but it's going to go beyond. And it might be the brain, and oftentimes what they actually find out later is many of these kids are on various types of medications and drugs for different reasons, and that those medications can actually be affecting their brain chemistry, which may be a factor in them doing this type of stuff.
Had he had a medicine or a drug?
I think so, yep, for depression. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really research it, but I did hear something about that. Donato?
Yeah, I was thinking about the article, no? And we are taking for good the aim of the experiment because it was led by scientists, and surely there is an accurate and deep study about the phenomenon and how to connect this research to this research to the repetitiveness or the fact that crimes are more frequently repeated by old people instead of teenagers.
Adults, yeah.
Adults.
Yeah.
What make me think is that if the theme of this article would have been told me by a friend of mine, or instead of scientists, there was just normal people, I would object that I don't see 100% pertinent the fact that people or teenager react in relation to the danger as they do to crimes. I mean, and I give the word to the other students. I mean that the fact that they are more impervious and they overreact or react without thinking to threats.
Yeah.
It is not the same thing. The same situation when you react in in a crime scenario.
Sure.
Because a crime scenario, it is not always to respond of a threatened. This one is usually the behavior of a victim. So I would object that maybe teenager in the clothes, in the shoes of a victim would react more promptly.
Oh.
And crimes often, or for example, stealing, it is not like reacting against the danger, but just to bend to some like give up to some desires of easy money. So I don't know if I made me understood.
Yes.
My point of view.
Yeah, I think so. And maybe everybody should know that, Donato, you're also a police officer, right?
Exactly, teacher.
So Donato is speaking as a cop, a police officer whose job it is to deal with criminals and to bring them in, and perhaps you have to go sometimes looking for what happened, investigating what happened. So yeah, I mean, I guess I want to shift the conversation just a little bit to bring it more personal. So this was an article that we read in the last class that was talking about impulse control in teenagers.
It is a fact that is written in this article. I mean, teenager commit more crimes than adults or children.
No, they're not saying that.
But it is written so.
No, they are just saying in that article. In the
article, it is written that teenager there are more crimes among teenagers than children or adults. Why? Because they react. They have overreacted to the threatened situation.
No, that's not what the article was saying. The article was only saying that when you look at teenage criminals, people who already committed a crime, when you look at them, maybe this could be one reason that they are not committing more crimes, additional crimes, as adults, because their brain is developing. So it didn't say anything about teenagers committing more crimes because of their lack of impulse control. That's not what the article said. No, it's just saying, really, if you look at it here, this could help explain why teenage criminals, so not teenagers in general, but the people who are just, that's a small portion of the teenage population that are criminals. In the United States, at least, there aren't that many teenage criminals. They go to juvenile hall. They don't go to the regular jails, which are very crowded, of course, in the United States, yes, but they're crowded with adult criminals. And so they're saying that a lot of these... Yes, Yuki?
Sorry if it is...
Yeah, it's there. They were saying something different. So don't think that they're saying that teenagers commit more crimes. That's not what they're saying at all.
Okay.
But Raphael, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, in your own life as a male teenager, what did it feel like? Did you feel that you had ability to control yourself, or did you sometimes do? And we're not talking about bad things necessarily either. It doesn't mean that a teenager is just going to do bad things. It just might be that they're also, rather than thinking through the consequences, they just do it. So the impulse is just to do something. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be like you're skiing down the mountain and you're a teenage boy and you decide, hey, I'm going to go jump off of that jump, whereas, your little brothers and sisters are like, you're crazy, but you want to do it, and you don't think that you're going to crash, you don't think you're going to get hurt, you're just like excited and you just do it, So I want to make sure we know that that's kind of what they're talking about in that article too. Is not necessarily that teenagers are bad or they're doing everything bad. It's just they have this impulse, like they do stuff without thinking so much. They're not so cautious. They're not so careful as adults.
It's like discovering my limits. Maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially guys. I see that especially with male teens. I have 2 of them in my house, and with their friends, I think they just want to like challenge themselves and like see, can you do this? I can do this better than you can. Did you experience that as a teenager?
Yeah, I don't think so, because mainly because perhaps one of the reasons is because I was the only child. I didn't have a brother when I was a teenager. So I don't know. Maybe I don't felt this need to. I don't feel this necessity to challenge my limits. I think my adolescence, when I was a teenager, it was calm. It was calm and peaceful. Of course, and like all teenagers, sometimes I wanted to practice some crazy things like swimming. I always wanted to go to sea and swimming as far as I could from the beach. It was one of the things I would like to do, and without worry about the waves and everything. But luckily, nothing worse happened since then. When I went, I don't know, because it all depends on how. Of course, all of us are different. Every one of us are different, and sure. we have our differences.
Yeah.
But I think it's more. It all depends on how raised you were. How early childhood. How your parents created you. How your parents educated you. I think it's one of the most important parts.
Parenting.
Yes, your parents must educate you. If they provide a good education to you, if they provide make you aware of your limits, make you aware of your what you can do and what you can't do, and I think it's more. You probably go through this part of your life, this phase of your life. Maybe you will face this phase of your life more clearly and more.
Yeah. With more support, too.
Yeah, with more support, more.
Yeah, and maybe also I think more. Sometimes it helps teenagers if they have more strategies. So, for example, you said you were active in swimming and sports.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think in the United States, anyways, a lot of parents, I think, in general, and teachers and stuff, they think that sports can be good, especially for males as teenagers, because it can give them like what we call an outlet. So, if you have a lot of energy and you want to challenge yourself and go against your friends and see who's strong and just kind of challenge yourself, you can do that in the sports.
You need something.
Yeah.
You need something to spend this energy, because I have so much energy, but you need to do something to spend this.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because Yuki mentioned about the video games, and my sons definitely enjoy playing video games, and they do it with other kids, and they have so much energy, and they're playing their video games and talking and yelling, and if I say, okay, no more video games, then what happens? They start hitting each other, they have so much energy and so much, they just want to have fun and do something, but a lot of times they don't just want to go and read a book and be very quiet and studious, so
Not
very
only your
active.
children.
Yeah.
Not only your children. Now many children play a game. I know almost all the Japanese children have their game sticks,
Video games are very popular.
Video games, portable video games.
Okay, like iPod or something.
They have a portable. They have their own portable video consoles, and also they have a video game in their home. So they spend many times to play a game. Among games, of course, there are many kind of dangerous game. I don't know, such as
there's all different types of games.
Different type of games, including killing someone. So I think such a habit, which became now normal nowadays, effect on their brain. Maybe it's cause such a impulse of their behavior to more violence action, more violence act. It is very controversial problem. I don't know.
Well, it is an interesting possibility, and I don't think any real strong science has been shown one way or the other, but it is interesting that, even before video games came along, especially male teens and stuff, they have gotten themselves into trouble, and they fight, and they do different things too. So I don't know if it's influenced it more, and I think it has a lot more to do with, like what Ahmad was saying, and what Raphael sounded like you were agreeing with Ahmad is, what is your home situation like? What are your parents like? And also, if considering something like, somebody like Ahmad growing up in Syria, if something's happening in your country that is very dangerous and things are, you don't have control over that, and as a child, you might see a lot of things that affect you, and then as you become a teenager, you have a lot of power. Like, my son is as big as an adult. He is over 6 feet tall. He weighs 180 pounds. He's a man size, but he doesn't have a very mature adult brain yet, so just his size alone, if he tries to, just play around with his sister, sometimes he could hurt her just because he's strong, and he doesn't know, if he, pushes her a little bit or something, she's going to fall down, so, yeah. But let's let Fulvia talk. Hi, Fulvia. How are you?
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
So what was it like for you being in France? You're from France, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. In France as a teenager growing up. What was it like for you?
I don't know what to say actually.
Well, because we're just talking about being a teenager, and sometimes
I had much fun.
You had a lot of fun. Okay.
Exactly. much better than my adult life.
Oh, really? Why? Why?
Because we need to work. That's why.
Yes. Yes, that is true. And I asked this question in my writing class the other day. What about when you were younger, like as a teenager, with your friends? Do you feel like you had more friends, or maybe you could spend more time with your friends when you were a teenager than now, or is it better now with friends?
I believe when my best friends in high school, it's completely different from my best friends here. I mean now. 20 years later.
Yeah. What was it easier to make friends as a teenager, or is it easier now?
No, I don't have problem with making friends, but I don't feel that they are really close friends. That's the difference.
Oh, okay. The ones now that you make.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But the best friend I had, they were all from high school.
Yeah.
It's really a different relationship.
Yeah.
It's much stronger.
Do you still keep in touch with them?
Oh, we all left in different cities. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
The friends I have now, I know them for some years.
Yeah.
So it's not that deeply.
Yeah. You don't have so much history with them.
Exactly, because I moved to another country, so I left all my friends.
Oh, where did you move?
Oh, I don't live in France anymore.
Oh, where do you live?
No, I live in Italy.
Oh, okay. So now you have Italian friends.
Yes, I have Italian friends.
Okay, I didn't know that you lived in Italy.
Even Japanese friends.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. Cool. So, Fulvia, do you have an opinion or experience with talking about male teens? Because in this article, you didn't read it probably.
No, I didn't read it, no.
Yeah, but, just this idea of male teenagers.
But I have experience with male teenagers because I'm a teacher, so I taught in high schools.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
in Italy or in France?
No, in Italy.
Oh, okay.
Teaching French.
Okay, great.
So they are they are not violent actually.
No. Yeah.
But it's very difficult to get attention from them.
To have them pay attention to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I also had taught in high school for 2 years.
Really?
Japanese.
And how was your experience in the high school?
It is a private high school.
Okay.
There
in Moscow?
In Moscow. In Moscow.
Okay.
Yes. Students are from 20 to 16. Although in Russia there is no difference beginning school. Elementary school, middle school, high school. There is no difference. There are one school. So there are many kind of students in school of several ages, of different ages. They study all together in one school. But I taught Japanese teenagers from 20 to 16 old children, old teens. I found they have quite unstable psychology situation. Psychology. Sometimes I admit that one student had been invaded, had been ignored by other students. he, of course, he is a little unique, unique student, unique man. So it is difficult for him get along with other
Get along with others. Okay.
students. Maybe it is a cause of his ignorance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why they were ignoring him.
I agree. They are ignorant. I agree.
I think he was also saying that the other students were ignoring him too.
Right. I thought they were ignorant.
Yes. But it is quite a serious problem. Once he absent from class, I asked other students to hand in his homework to him. But another day after that, in the next class, he said that he hadn't received his homework. Other student neglected his duty to give him his homework. So it is a very serious problem. I'm sorry for him. I was sorry for him.
Yeah.
So
Imad, let me ask Imad something. So Imad, you mentioned earlier that when you were a teenager, you maybe did some things that you didn't think too much about. Do you feel like in your own life that changed?
I wasn't that quiet.
Yeah. But I'm wondering, like, as an adult now, when you're looking back.
I changed my own way.
Yeah. Okay. You changed. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking back to that time. I used to be kind of very active. I wasn't that kind of cool. Not cool. Let's say. Calm guy. I used to have a lot of problems at school. I used to be the one who always bring problems. Yeah, it wasn't that very big of a deal, meaning that I was always doing things. For me, it was like discovering things, making things. I tried to escape many times from school, make a lot of tricks, a lot of things.
Yeah.
That was part of my life, part of my memories.
Yeah.
Things changed after that when I got to high school. I remember.
Yeah.
I feel like changed immediately. I don't know. I didn't know how, but I became more interested about my future. I was future oriented. I started to work like a part-time job. I was interested about how about my future. I was determined to get engineering, to work in electronics. I was very, very determined to this purpose. And from that time, I changed everything.
Yeah.
Even my friends at high school wasn't that big of a deal because for me they didn't catch the idea, didn't get the idea of the study. For me, I was completely different because I completely, for some cases, I ignored some materials, some subjects at school. I didn't attend some classes. That was very strange. Being absent for some days, being being the best student in some classes like math, and being absent in the others.
Yeah.
That was completely against the rules, but I didn't care. That time was very difficult. I made a lot of mistakes. Some of them wasted a lot of time. One of my mistakes is a bachelor test. The bachelor.
Whoops. Something's going on with the Google Hangouts. I'm not sure, but we just lost Imad. And Fulvia, you're back. Raphael, are you still with us?
Yes.
Okay. So we lost Imad. Hopefully he'll come back. But so Raphael, what about now Fulvia's gone? Whoa, weird. Okay. So what's it like in Brazil right now? Like this article was, did mention something about crimes, and I don't think that's the main topic of that article. It was kind of like a sensationalistic heading to get you interested. But what about in Brazil? What is the common experience for teenagers in Brazil, or how do adults see teenagers in Brazil these days?
Well, I think they see the children with a little more concern because our violence levels raised a lot in the recent years. Okay. So they see more. They start feeling. They start to feel the necessity of give them a better education in order to prevent these children from being violent and prevent them for have problems with justice when being jailed and things like that. So and in my opinion about that, it's of course I mentioned this before. It's all about education. It's all about the people a more close accompaniment by fathers and by friends, by adult people, in order to give the information and to teach them the right values to face the life, to deal with life.
So, Rafael, when you were young, were you, like Ahmad was just telling us that he wasn't thinking so much about the future, like studying so much or to get a job or what? Were you thinking about that when you were a teenager?
No, not really. I didn't like Ahmad. I didn't have this vision either because I don't know. It looks like I live in when we were adolescent, and maybe I don't know what happened there in the United States, but I kind of live in a certain, how can I say? I don't know if it's the right word, but in a kind of bubble, when you are inside and you don't see, and you can't see beyond. You can't see beyond, and you have the I don't know. You start to you see the world like like a small world, and you are within it, and you just start. You only start thinking, having this vision about the future, vision about what am I gonna do tomorrow? What I'm gonna be living in 10 years or 20? Since just when you find the majority, when you around 20 or 25 maybe.
Yeah, I think that's the same here. Is even if you talk to like even somebody who's like 15, 16, 17, those are the years where you're in high school here, and you might say like, so what do you think you're gonna want to do to make money in your life, or how and they're just like, what? I don't want to make money. Like they still are. It's hard for them to see 3, 4, 5 years ahead that they're going to be living on their own, probably needing to support themselves, trying to figure out how to make it work. Yeah. Okay, Fulvia, you were talking about that. Tell us. You never thought about being a teacher. What did you think about something else? Did you have an idea?
Never.
No.
I was very bad at school. Actually, in French, I was very bad. I at that time I did love languages, but I was very bad at French. But because I moved to a foreign country, the best way to the best way to find a job is to teach your own language. That's why I became a teacher.
Oh. How long have you lived in Italy?
10 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So why did you move to Italy?
Because I was in love with the Italian language.
Nice. So
Exactly.
and so now anybody in the European Union can live in any other country, right?
Yeah, we can move and work without any work permit.
Okay, so it's easy.
Yeah.
It's like being in the same country almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am only 4 hours from my native city in France.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's closer. I'm about
I just need to cross the border to be at home.
Yeah, I'm 16 hours from where I was born.
Oh my God. Very
Yeah, 2 days driving. It's very far away. Yeah, so wow. So will you continue to stay in Italy now?
Yeah, I just bought a house, so I will be staying here.
Okay, cool. So well, that's good. So Fulvia, do you have any children?
No, I live on my own. I have no children.
Okay. And you just bought a house? That's pretty good.
Yes. I mean, a little house.
Okay, a little house. That's good. Yeah. So am I the only one who has kids? Rafael, do you have any kids?
No, and it's not in my plan to have kids.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know. I don't see myself raising a child. I think it's too much responsibility for me. I don't know. Maybe in the next 5 years, but for now, no.
Yeah. Well, it certainly is a big responsibility, especially after you just told us how important parenting is for the kids. Yeah, you'll have to wait and see. But are you married? You're married, though, aren't you, Rafael?
No, I'm single.
Oh, you're single. Oh, okay. All right. Iman, you want to have kids, don't you?
I'm not married. I don't have kids, but
I
love
know.
kids. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Would you like to have your own kids someday?
Yeah, in future, yeah, I hope that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Imad, do you have any nieces or nephews that are teenagers right now, Imad?
Yeah, lots of them.
Oh, how's it going with them?
It's difficult.
How are they doing?
As I said, they don't care about their own responsibilities. At the same time, we should like both them to study and to go to school, and they don't want. So imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's it like? Well, I know you're from Syria, but you're living in Egypt. What is it like in Egypt for a teenager? Like, does a teenager have a lot of freedom? Can they just go out wherever they want, stay out late, and do people look after them or?
Yeah, it's a difficult situation. It starts to be like the same for us, for Syrians. We are like foreign here. We are not like the same as I'm living in my country. But it's better than being under the wear. Like as I said, there's things like bombing, shelling, and killing, things that they are not like they are far away from it. We want this one thing. We want them to live in, let's say, better environment, to study, to care about their future, not to be there like in the middle of the war.
Yeah.
It's better anyway. It's better than being there.
So are they in Egypt? How long do they go to school? Like, not university necessarily, but just like through high school. How old are they when they graduate?
When they graduate, it will be the 18, between 18 to 19. Yeah.
Okay, so same here.
Yeah, I think it's the same as the international system or standard systems, kind of that. 3 years at high school and 3 years in the middle school.
Okay.
And the most challenging things, you have 2 standardized tests at the middle school and high school.
Yeah. And Fulvia, what was it like? What was it like in France for teenagers? Did you have a lot of freedom, or did you feel like your parents were always watching you and stuff?
No, I really had a lot of freedom. I could do whatever I wanted.
Wow, good for you. Is that because is that because that's what is normal in France, or because of your parents in particular?
No, but even at school, we were very free.
Yeah.
Really, to get in, to get out.
Oh, okay.
Whenever we wanted.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know if I compare with other countries because I grew up in France. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we were really very free.
Yeah. So do you feel like that's because
the education is very free?
Yeah. Is that because there's a lot of trust? Like they trust that the teenagers are not going to get into trouble, or?
It's not that. We were very free, but the parents, they didn't know what we were doing. So,
so
they trusted us, but they didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah. Well, they probably had a good idea since they probably did it too. A lot of times kids think that they're doing something special, but really their parents probably did stuff worse. I don't know. But I have some parents today, some of my friends, they are worried because they know what they did when they were teenagers. Now they're worried about what is going to happen when they're teenagers. Yeah, when they're teenagers. What are they going to do? Yeah. So Yuki, tell us, what was it like for you in Japan as a teenager? What kind of a teenager were you?
I was. I'm not good at doing sports, and I'm quite I also not good at study.
Okay, you didn't like school?
Yes, but I liked to say joking, so I was quite popular among other students because of joking. Not,
you made them laugh.
Yes, only as a comedian, kind of comedian.
Oh, you're a comedian.
Yes.
Yeah. And Yuki, did you grow up with any siblings? Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have a little sister. She is 4 years younger than me. She already got married.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you were a teenager, did you take good care of your sister?
No, maybe I am not a good brother. I often teased her.
Yeah.
I often make her cry.
You made her cry. Okay.
Because of that, I was scolded by my parents.
Sure.
Yes.
So but did you cause your parents any trouble as a teenager?
I think I am the source of trouble, but sometimes I behaved not good. So especially when I was little. When I was a child, I am very. I eat a dinner very slowly.
Yeah.
So my mother annoyed my speed of eating.
She was annoyed.
Yes, after finished the dinner, only I continue to eat. So they let me alone. My family member let me alone in the kitchen. They moved to the dining and watched a very interesting television program. I only heard their laughing voice and TV sound. I alone I continued to eat. It was very severe situation.
And so, Fulvia, you said you caused trouble. What kind of trouble?
As all teenagers, I was like all teenagers. I just enjoy life.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you feel like as a teenager you had more fun in life than now?
Well, I still sometimes come back at 7 o'clock in the morning after having fun here. So.
Okay. So that's just when it started, then, huh? It hasn't ended.
It hasn't ended. But,
that's good. Well, what about you, Rafael? Did you cause your parents to worry about you, or did they?
No.
No.
Perhaps I'm thinking I should have caused more problem for them, but no, I didn't cause, and I think my adolescence, my teenager years was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your parents got lucky, huh?
Probably.
Well, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Now I have a sister who lives with me, and and I have two other brothers, but they live elsewhere. They don't live with me.
And when you were growing up, did you get along well with everybody?
Yes, me and my sister, we didn't have problems. Of course, everyone has a little fight, have a little discussion, brothers and sisters. But in general, we don't have hard problems. We didn't have problems.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, it's good if you have your siblings and you get along well with them. So I know some boys though, they fight a lot, but my sons, I'm happy they get along. They annoy each other sometimes, but for the most part, it's good. Okay, it's bedtime for you, huh, Fulvia?
Yes.
What is it? 11 o'clock?
It's 11. I need to wake up early tomorrow. I need to go to work.
Okay, yes, that's the main difference. Work. Responsibilities.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, thanks for coming to class, Fulvia. It was nice talking to you, and Rafael and Yuki, as always.
Thank
you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Speaking with others in a real-life conversation. I'm not giving you anything to read or practice or role play or anything. It's just going to be us having a conversation and speaking in English about the things that happened to us or what we liked or didn't like about being a teenager. So the topic is being a teen, and Imad and Rafael, you were with me in the last hour when we were reading the article about the impulse control of teenagers, especially male teenagers. So let's get started with our conversation, and if anybody wants to join us at any time, they can just pop in, and we will welcome you to the class, and you can begin to join us. Also, if you're watching and you're not sure if you can join for the whole class and you want to participate a little bit, you can type in the Verbling chat, and we see it, and we can respond to you if you have any questions or anything. So, Yuki, are you there? Maybe it's loading.
The teenagers nowadays who have originally came from the same situation, they left everything to us. Although they don't understand everything, they don't feel that kind of lost.
Yeah.
But they have seen things that are not usual, things like that went in front of their eyes very fast.
Yeah.
And they right now see they are very active sometimes, but they're not violent.
Okay.
They're not violent, but at the same time you see their own reactions for threats. They will become like this threshold for being nervous is like very low.
Yeah.
And they would tend in some poor cases, like you'd see people from poor families start to be isolated.
Yeah.
That feeling is growing because they used to be in the middle class, So the change of this situation and circumstances would affect their own feeling, and I can feel that, I can probe it because I'm living in this medium. So I know that this kind of kids have changed because I've known them in the.
Hi everybody, this is Lisa, and welcome again to another hour of English Verbling classes. Excuse me. Verbling.com is the website, and here is where we offer classes in English, Spanish, French, Russian, and Italian. In English, we have several classes all day long and through the night. Sometimes we have 2 classes at once, sometimes it's just 1. And if you become a member of Verbling, then you get to join classes anytime you would like. If you are a Verbling.com member, you can reserve your class ahead of time if you know you want to make sure that you get into the Google Hangouts, because sometimes they do fill up. And otherwise, if you don't have a reservation but you want to join, you just come and see if the class is not full, and if there's room, then you can click on the Join Class button and then join the class. The good thing about joining the class is that you can participate. So, for example, in this hour, we're going to be having a conversation, so this is a good chance for you to practice speaking. Okay, Imad.
Hello, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Yuki, hi. All right, so you guys are all there. Good. Well, okay, I'm going to start with Ahmad. So, Ahmad, tell me, we can start with kind of going off of the article since we all read that article. Did you have any opinions about it, or did it make you think of your own teenage years, or maybe people you know, brothers, sisters, relatives, anything like that?
Yeah, I'd say when kids go through dramatic things during their early lives, it will affect their own behaviors during the teenage or adolescence period.
Okay.
And I'm 100% sure about this point because I've seen a lot of cases. You know, I'm originally from Syria.
Yes.
I fled the country about 1 year ago. Many children, including my relatives, young kids, have seen a lot of things, a lot of sins that were horrible and awful. And that caused them, in some cases, to be horrified or affected in a way. So the teenage nowadays, I'm dealing with the fact that last few years I've seen what happened, and I noticed the difference. So it's correct. It's really correct.
Yeah.
Whenever the child have seen something during his own early life that's horrible or not meant to be very good or violent, he would grow up during the adolescence. He will suffer and struggle with the ideas and the image that will invade his own imagination. And being through the teenage life, it's not good. It's very hard. Even for me, I remember when I was a teenager, I did a lot of things that were not fully thoughtful or coming from my own experience, just because I want to do something. It's quite impulsive.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's a really good point that you're making, Ahmad, and it makes me wonder that in that article that we just read, in that study that they were talking about,
Yes.
I wonder if they took that into consideration, like, because they didn't tell us very much in the article about the study, but I would be curious now to find out, like, the people that they used in the study, and specifically the male teenagers that they saw had less impulse